Well, I just saw the Lego Batman, and well, hmm, how do I say this? I think it's okay. I don't think it's awesome or anything. I think it's the greatest superhero movie I've ever seen. And I just think it's, eh. Alright, well, let me explain a little more. The Lego Batman movie just came out last weekend and I decided to go check it out to see what the big deal. And it was one of those movies I was looking forward to seeing this year, and it was okay in my sense. The Lego Batman movie is the story where where it's about Batman, who pretty much he's awesome. Everyone loves him. He's got an 8-pack. He's like, I'm smart. You know what? Because I'm Batman, and pretty much it's him dealing with, you know, his fear of not being close to people and having a family, and after taking care of Robin, a young orphan, he now has to battle the Joker, who plans to take over Gotham and whatnot, and trying to prove that he has a relationship with Batman. I could say this film has some good stuff and some bad stuff. Let me start off with some good before we get into the negative. I gotta praise the voice talent. Will Arnett was really awesome as Batman. I like Will Arnett. He's done some good voiceover work, like in BoJack Horseman, and he does a really great job as Batman. He really brings this cocky, arrogant Batman to life, and who's so full of himself very wonderfully. And I praise him for his performance. Michael Cera as the voice of Dick Grayson, Robin, was really good. I felt for this character at times when, he just wants a family. He wants someone to connect to and whatnot. And I really did like that, honestly. I thought that was really nice. So, Rosario Dawson. God, I love Rosario Dawson. I mean, from her role in Netflix to now voicing Barbara Gordon, she does a really great job. And then Zach Galifianakis, if I'm pronouncing that right, voicing the Joker, I thought did a really good job nevertheless. So, I really praise the people who work on this film for the animation and the Legos. They really made this world very nice. They made it look all colorful, and just the designs, the movement, everything was done very well. And I really did enjoy that. I give the props to the crew who work on all of that, because that takes a lot of hard work and everything, and they make it pop out very wonderfully and such. So definitely a good job for that. And then the third thing I like about the Lego Batman movie was the little references and Easter eggs to to Batman's history and other stuff. Like they talk. Alfred points out from Dawn of Justice to Dark Knight Rises to The Dark Knight to Batman Begins to the Clooney hair to Clooney's nipples, which is all you see, to Batman Forever, to Batman Returns, Batman, and then the '60s Batman, which you actually see the live action instead of the Lego version. And then you have the serial Batman, which I really praise them for talking about that, because that is very underrated. Those really old black and white stuff, that is still part of Batman's mythology. It's very different from what it was in the past, but I'm still glad that they brought that to life, and they showed that and referenced that. I thought that was really nice. But those are the only three positives I have with the film. Here are the negatives I have with the film. One was Bruce liked Barbara Gordon. I'm really getting tired of that. Okay, Bruce Timm put Batman and Barbara in a relationship in the original animated series. It wasn't until I got older until I learned that Barbara was in an actual relationship with Bruce, as they referenced that in Batman Beyond. Like, when talking with Terry, he's like, so you're friends, partners. And he goes, whoa. So, but I just couldn't stand it. Look, they've already made Barbara ship with Bruce in the original animated series. That kind of flew over our heads because we were kids until we noticed it later. Then they did that in Batman Arkham Knight, where they put Barbara in a relationship instead of Dick Grayson. They put her with Tim Drake. I didn't like that. That was my nitpick. That was one of my nitpicks for the game and everything. And then in the Killing Joke, we see her trying to be in a relationship, and I was just like, Ah. So. That was one thing I just couldn't stand. Like, Barbara as the love interest. I understand this is a different version of the character. I understand that. I just didn't like it all that much. So I'm so glad they didn't end up as a couple. And I just didn't like that Batman was liking her and such. So the second thing I didn't like about this film was Batman. I'll admit, I love Batman. I grew up watching Batman. I have the animated series. I've read the comics. I love his movies and whatnot. Some of them, not all. Batman Beyond, not Batman Beyond, but Batman Beyond. That's a good one. Batman and Robin. It's bad, but I could watch that and just make jokes and everything. Go, bad nipples. Oh god, that almost ruined the franchise. But I didn't like Batman. He was just so full of himself, and I get that's his character in the film in the beginning because he's kept to himself. He's not wanting to get close to anybody. He doesn't want anyone feeling anything, and that's understandable. But I just couldn't stand it. I actually just did this throughout some of the films, like, oh god, oh, and I just couldn't stand it. I liked by the end of the film he was willing to go to the fan zone because how the way he was treated as a bad guy. I'm going to get into some spoilers. So if you have not seen the Lego Batman movie, I'm just going to say it's okay. Kids are going to love it and all that. But if you have not seen it, I'm going into spoilers. So beware, and I'll let you know when to. I'll be out spoiled. But by the end of the film, Batman had treated as a bad guy. When you think about it, he treated Dick cruelly, manipulating me, breaking into Superman's Fortress of Solitude. He called Alfred, so he doesn't know you don't know what it's like to raise a son. To Alfred, who was the same man who raised him, and I just couldn't stand that. I mean, I get he's trying to protect the people he cares about when sending them away and whatnot, but the way he treated Alfred and Dick, it just upsetted me so much. So I couldn't handle. I just didn't like that, and I was happy by the end of the film. He reveals his identity to Dick, and tells him, I am Bruce Wayne, and all that, and he was willing to go back in the fan zone because after when he enters, the blog tells him, he's kind of being a bad guy. I mean, he's neither a good guy or a bad guy. He's in between. And I love that she points out that mistake to him and everything. And, he was willing to return back to that. And I would have loved to see with the film just to end there. I would have been more like, okay, that actually was not bad. So, but I just couldn't handle that. So. And then my third reason I don't like I don't like this film so much is because, I mean, I know it's supposed to be for children and whatnot, but I just didn't like the lighter tone and everything, I didn't. I'll admit, I mean, there were some good chuckles here and there, but I just didn't like it at all. I didn't like the lighter tone. For me, growing up, I've always loved DC for being dark and everything. They've done some dark storylines, They did the Judas Contract. They did Crisis on Infinite Earths. They've done some dark stuff. Batman has dealt with dark issues and all that. From A Death in the Family, The Killing Joke, to, Robin's death and Batman Inc. and others and such. And that is awesome. And I understand this is the Lego Batman. This is a different version of Batman. And I get that. But for me, I didn't like this version of Batman, honestly. I mean, don't get me wrong, Will Arnett does a wonderful job in this performance. He is awesome. He is really good. And I mean, I love Will Arnett. I love him in his voice, doing voiceover. He does such a good job. He brings this side to these characters done well. And it's just I just didn't like this version of Batman. And above all honesty, I like the DC's EU films. I know many people are like, this is the best DC film ever. Why can't the live action films be, like this and everything? I'm like, no, don't. Because let me explain something. I like the DC EU, from Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, and Suicide Squad, because I like their film. I like those films so far. They brought unique stories, a realistic feel to them, and they're very different from the Marvel films. And That's what I like, because I don't want a Marvel film style in DC. I want DC to do their own style. I I don't mind Zack Snyder as a director. I mean, I love Batman v Superman. I enjoyed Man of Steel. I love 300, and Watchmen. I enjoyed the Ultimate Cut, director's version. That's the only version I've seen. So, and same with the Ultimate Edition for Batman v Superman and whatnot. So, but yeah, so I just didn't like the light tone. I thought it was, cute and whatnot. Kids will like and such, but it just wasn't the film for me. So, is this film terrible? No. I think I think this film's not bad. I mean, I do prefer Batman v Superman over this, but I don't think this film's bad. I think it's okay. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's it's okay. Like I said, the good in the film, good voice acting from, like I said, Will Arnett, Rosario Dawson, Michael Cera, and Zach Galifianakis, and all that. That was really good. The voice talent was good. The animation and colors was really well done. Like I said, I have to give props to them and all that. And then the little stuff, from Batman's references, from his media from the past, to, stuff, to literally, so you see the Batman Beyond suit, and whatnot. That stuff I like. That's something I personally, as a comic book fan of. But like I said with the negatives, I don't, like I said with the negative and all, Barbara, Bruce like Barbara, no, was not a big fan of that. Batman, who kind of was just so full and stuff, I just didn't like it. I don't like that. People was like, Batman's awesome, he's got the gadgets, he's got the tech. Yeah, that's great and all, but for me, that's not what defines his character. He reminds me that what tragedy can do to someone, and he uses that tragedy to become he doesn't want anyone else suffering after what he's been through, and that's understandable. So, yeah, and I didn't mind. I had a few chuckles in the film. Don't get me wrong, but I just didn't like the lighter tone. So, overall, I would give the Lego Batman movie a solid 3 out of 5. It's not the greatest. It's not the worst. It's okay. So, but I do look forward to seeing Batman back in the Justice League, and I hope he makes a cameo in Wonder Woman. I'm really hoping I get a cameo just by the end credits or something. So. But yeah, this probably would be my least favorite version of Batman. Well, maybe second to Clooney. I mean, at least with Clooney, he was a good Bruce Wayne, I'll admit. But as Batman, no, he just was ridiculous. I could take Adam West's Batman seriously. Like, I could honestly take him more serious, because despite the campiness and the silliness in the 60s Batman, he still kept it going as well. So. But that's my thoughts on the Lego Batman movie. I mean, I don't hate it. I think it's okay. I mean, I think children will like it. I think, some parents will like it, get a good laugh and all. But for me, honestly, I'd rather pass on it. I'd rather not see it again. So. But yeah, so check it out if you like. What did you think of the film? Did you like it? Did you thought it was funny? Did you enjoy this version of Batman? And if not, tell me down below, or what you like it. And give this video a thumbs up if you like. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.